and we're going to just look at what Teddy Atlas has got to say about Haney's win over Lomachenko. So, with no further ado.
I thought that there was a marked difference in Haney, where normally he stands on the outside, you know, he controls range, he puts pretty combinations together, not the hardest punches in the world, but nice sharp shooting combinations. He uses his height and reach really well. He's he's a pretty boxer. And there was a distinct difference in his approach here. And I think it started with the shove. The shove that everyone talked about, that I didn't like it. I didn't think it was called for. But I think I understood it. Maybe better than some, because of being in this business and understanding the mindsets of a fighter after I've been in this business 50 years. This was his moment. This was his day of reckoning for Haney. Fighting a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Fame fighter, an iconic type fighter, 2-time gold medalist, 400 amateur fights, only lost one. Talking about Lomachenko. 3 division champion, won the world title in his 3rd fight, I think it was.
That's right.
So Haney knew this was the moment that he would be judged on. No matter what he'd done before, he'd be judged. He won't be judged on the Cambosa's 2 fights, winning the title, then defending it in Australia. This is the one. And his shoving, as much as I thought it was wrong, was his way of getting into the mental mode that he needed to be in for this moment, for this call to arms, if you will, for him and his father.
So, as Teddy was saying there, it seems like Haney's mindset was to actually build some kind of aggression or some kind of feeling because of the 4 years where he'd been kept out in the cold and Lomachenko didn't want to fight him. So that was his way of, like, obviously selling the fight, but also getting in Lomachenko's mind and also building momentum in his own mind to implement his game plan. And obviously Lomachenko was a bit overconfident, and as we have seen in other things before, his ego actually has got the better of him. So maybe the push did what it was supposed to do, and it was effective.
For this call to arms, if you will, for him and his father, where he was basically saying, I'm going to draw a line in the sand or in the canvas, and I'm going to make a stand, maybe a stand I've never made before, a stand, put a flag down to show that Mr. Haney is here, that I'm here, I'm fighting this special fighter, and I am going to, at the end of the night, show you my worth. Answer the critics, maybe answer his own doubts, or his own little echoes that sometimes can get inside our own chamber internally. But he was definitely going to be different in this fight. And he knew or felt that he had to be.
I agree. He was different in this fight. It's probably the best version of Haney that anybody's seen since he's been boxing. And don't get me wrong, Haney's a really, really tactical, good boxer. You know, skillful. But the tactics he used, the game plan, the jab, the double jab, the body shots, the straight right to the body, right hooks to the body, the way he just took the body and implemented it with the combinations with the jab and keeping it at a mid-range keeping Loma at the end of the jab, it was absolutely brilliant. I watched the fight twice, and I watched the way he did what he did. He sort of systematically picked him apart with what he did. Don't get me wrong though, Loma had his moments and kind of got in and did what he needed to do and had little flurries, but overall, Haney did actually control the actual middle of the ring, and he controlled the action and controlled when he wanted to fight, when he wanted to keep Loma away and press with the jab and hit the body. And you could tell the jabs were hurting his body. You know, the shots, the crosses to the body and the hooks to the body, they were hurting him.
Or felt that he had to be. And he was. He went out there with his knees bent. He grabbed the floor. He wasn't out there on a pot shot and sharpshooting. He was moving forward. He was a trolling. He was a shark going through the waters looking for prey. He was throwing bad intention punches like Mike Tyson used to talk about. He was throwing punches to do damage to the body and to the head. Meaningful, impactful punches that we don't always associate with Haney. He wasn't always controlling his range quite as good because he was more concentrating on just getting to this guy and, as I said, planting his flag of, in his mind, the beginning of the reign, a special reign in his mind at only 24 years old, a special beginning, even though he's been here.
That's one thing I do love about Teddy Atlas. He's also excellent at breaking things down, but also he's actually fair and honest in his assessment of what he knows and what he sees. So the fact that he said what he said, and maybe he didn't like the push, you know, but Haney's done it before. He's part of boxing. People do things to sell a fight. You know, there's worse things that have happened on war, you know, like people have bitten people's ears and done other stuff and like brawled and whatnot. But anyway, aside from that, fair assessment, a fair breakdown, you know, a fair opinion of what people were actually watching, because I don't understand why people are very salty that Haney won. You know, the fight probably could have went either way, but like it is subjective, but it's also down to the fact of, you know, who has the telling shots, who's effective with the shots, who actually hits the body, you know, who actually can conserve energy and have energy going on into the later rounds to come back if they're pulling behind. You know, who can actually hit with combinations and not get blocked or, you know, get parred or get caught on the gloves. You know, who knows when to tie up and hold to get the breath back strategically. Who knows when to wrestle, fight on the inside, all that stuff. Any little dirty tactics you can to win the fight, because essentially it's about winning. You know, in your mind you can think you win something because you've done enough and you've done what you've done, but technically in other people's eyes that might not work, because look at the very first fight that Lomachenko had with Salido, and Salido, you know, he did have a lot of losses, but he was an experienced, rough, professional, rugged fighter. And in my opinion, even though Lomachenko was good in that fight, he got beat. He got beat. And, you know, to this day, he says he never got beat, but you can see he got roughed up because of the experience that person had, that Salido had. And the fight, you know, the professional fight experience is different than amateur. You know, you can be good in amateur. You can do certain things in amateur. You can be skillful. You know, you can, you know, avoid punches. You know, you can block. You know, you can score points, but professional boxing is not the same as that. It's more about being effective with your punches and doing damage and going for the kill and knocking people out. You know, once you've experienced that, you know what you've got to do. So obviously Lomachenko learned that, but that first fight probably was a rude awakening for him. But the point I'm trying to make is when you've been fighting for so long, like Haney has, and probably been fighting for nothing, because he fought for quite a long period of time, not making that much money anyway, and then finally getting the chance to actually be the man, because obviously everyone disregarded him as whatever they disregarded him as and didn't want to fight him. But that's the thing, when you are actually technically sound and technically good, people don't want to actually deal with that, because it's a banana skin, you can slip up on it. So people will understand that style is probably horrible for them. People go, oh, he's boring, but like, if you look at what he actually does and look at who's actually trained him and who he's actually learned off, you can see he is actually really, really good. He's good at conserving energy, he's effective with his punches, he's good with his techniques, he's very, very effective with how he hits you, and with the least amount of shots and wasting energy. Who does he remind you of? Come on. We all know he reminds you of Floyd in some aspects. Plus, he's big, he's strong, and he's young as well. And he's smart. He knows how to implement what he needs to implement. So that's what won him the fight. Maybe he did things that he didn't do in other fights that he did in this fight. It was a bit more aggressive, a bit more spiteful, a bit more impetus in what he wanted to show everybody. And probably, like Teddy was saying, plant his flag. He's showing everyone he's arrived, he's here. So this is his come out moment. This is actually his parade to say, I'm the man of the division. Regardless of what anyone's got to say, they've got to prove it now to him. So one fight can change anything, and I think he's done it for him, and good on him. So anyway, that was another one from Knockout Legends. Like, comment and subscribe, and if you like his content, give it a thumbs up.